This week on Pitt Beyond the Script.
I mean, there's no lack of effort. Our kids fought till the end.
And he tries to go up over the top.
Touchdown.
They're going to call touchdown.
I mean, you're going to see on his draft highlight tape plays from that game.
Pitt really recruited me the hardest. I had Coach Narduzzi was probably one of the main recruiters.
I chose to come to Pitt because I wanted to play for a soccer program. It was really a project.
All this and more on this edition of Pitt Beyond the Script.
It starts as a game, a gathering of friends. And slowly, as some begin to sit back, others stand out. The joy of playing turns to passion. And as the skills develop, so do the minds. And they begin to seek challenges, peers, and mentors to further their abilities and opportunities. The love and passion becomes a thirst for people in a place
we're going to show everybody else in the country who we are.
That will embrace and push a hunger for excellence.
Blitz, the ACC.
And to be in and among champions. These are the dreamers, scholars, leaders. These are the guides, teachers, mentors. And this is the opportunity, the challenge, the place. This is Pitt Beyond the Script.
Welcome to another edition of Pitt Beyond the Script alongside head coach Pat Narduzzi. I'm Casey Guerra of Pitt Studios. Coach, obviously coming off a loss, 3-1 on the season. No loss is a good loss, but this team fought till the very end in the 30-29 loss against NC State. What takeaways do you do from that?
You know, try to evaluate our kids every week on, you know, how's their attitude, how was their effort and their toughness and the knowledge of the game, and, you know, all those things were there. So, I mean, there's no lack of effort. Our kids fought till the end. Obviously, we didn't play a great football game fundamentally. I think we lacked some things. I think emotionally we weren't where we needed to be, and, you know, it's hard to get a bunch of 18 or 22-year-olds emotionally ready every week. I think they were on fire the week before, and I think this weekend we may have come out a little bit flat. You never know as a coach what you're going to get, and I got to do a better job of getting them ready to go. But I didn't question their effort. I think they tried. I just think sometimes if your mind's not right exactly where it needs to be, those things can happen. And we had a chance to still win the game as average as we played, but we just made one less play than they did.
Career high, though, day for Kenny Pickett, 411 yards passing, 53 on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Like I mentioned, a career high day for him. Although it was a loss, you got to take some bright spots from his performance. And there was a scary moment there when he came out of the game, but only out for 1 snap. His toughness and his kind of winning attitude. Yeah,
Kenny's a tough guy, because that was a hit. That was a big time hit. Illegal hit, obviously, for those viewers that maybe didn't see that play. It was ugly. It was obviously the right decision to be ejected out of the game. But Kenny, I didn't realize it was a career high day. I'm assuming you're saying passing yards, or I didn't realize it was a career high. But Kenny played lights out. He took the game over. He was emotional at halftime as well. So you love his spirit, you love his enthusiasm, and you got to love his toughness.
And he tries to go up over the top.
Touchdown.
They're going to call touchdown.
One more thing I wanted to mention, the special teams, a shout out to them, and Alex Kessman, Kirk Christodoulou, and his punny as well. Very effective in this game, and has been since last week.
It really has. I mean, first 2 games we struggled a little bit, at least in the field goal department. Our punt has been good, all except for the Syracuse week. We got that kind of cleaned up a little bit, and there were some things we just needed to do for our kids. For our kids' sake on that. But overall, when you look at our special teams and the way our kickers have performed, and not only our kickers, I've been impressed with our gunners, on our punt return team, as far as just wiring up people and giving us a chance for, DJ to take a punt return back and get us in positive territory. So I think the only positive territory our offense had in all day was the plus 41. It was off a punt return. So we did some nice things in special teams.
13 penalties, but 10 of those are in the first half. So you clean it up in the second half, only 3, none in the third quarter. How do you carry that over into Boston College, that second half mentality?
We didn't have great focus early, defensively. I think offensively we only had 2 penalties, which, you can handle that if you had 2 on defense. And the game's totally different if we don't if we don't have those penalties that we received in that game, and good, bad, just wasn't as even as you'd like and think it might be in an ACC football game. But we did a great job adjusting, and our kids learned from their mistakes. I just hope they learn on Tuesday and Wednesday. We didn't do a great job of preparing them.
DJ Turner was another bright spot, 2 big catches. He gets you down on that 1-yard line. You fail to convert, but then on the next time in the red zone, you change to the Wildcat and you're successful. What was the mentality kind of switching to that?
It's just something we had in our back pocket that, you needed. You go with different things based on how the game is going and what you need. We wish that first time DJ would have gotten in the end zone, would have made things a little bit easier. And again, it's a game of inches. I mean, you kind of trip up and go down at the 1 as opposed to scoring there. We're not talking about the 4 downs and the game's over. We probably win the game. So there's so many plays throughout the game. It's not just that one. But you kind of brought it up, and Coach Whipple's got enough tricks in his bag to pull out as the season.
Let's talk about this receiving core's growth. Obviously, DJ Turner really stepping in, grad transfer though, so learning this offense quickly. You have Taysier Mack, had a couple of big catches. I know some he'd like to get back, but you're always going to drop passes. And then Jordan Addison went out, but a young freshman who's really stepped up for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have Jordan that whole game, I can tell you that. But DJ, the thing people really don't realize is he went and filled in and took over for Jordan in the slot position, and he's gotten very few reps at that position. There was a lot of things that he was just kind of running on the run, and we had some mistakes there as well that the casual viewer does not see. But when you talk about winning performance, he definitely gets a winning performance for what he did, how he did it with the lack of reps that he had at that position.
Obviously, no crowd in the stands. You almost really felt it on that 3rd down at the end of the game with Kalijah Cansey, because normally the crowd would really be going in that moment, and then you get that 4th down. How much are you guys missing that atmosphere right now? But it's kind of an advantage going away in Boston College. They won't have a crowd. You're used to that atmosphere now.
Yeah, we're certainly used to the atmosphere. Nobody likes the atmosphere, but it's 2020. There's a lot of things we don't like in these days and ages. So we just have to deal with it, and maybe the guys got to turn the volume up a little bit on 3rd down. I don't know.
We certainly will. All right, Coach, well, we'll be right back. We're going to preview Boston College coming up this Saturday at 4 o'clock. We'll be right back on Pitt Beyond the Script.
Throws it long down the field. There's a man wide open. Look out. That is Jordan Addison behind the whole secondary. A 75-yard touchdown pass.
Be smart. We have to have poise.
Go out and play together as a football team. You guys know what to do. Go out and execute fundamentals, details, and get it done.
And they're going to turn and hand it off. Great penetration, and down goes the running back.
Here's Pickett again. Reroutes it. There's the turn. Caught on 4th down. And Pittsburgh picks it up.
Welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script. Alongside Pat Bostic, I'm Rob King of AT&T Sportsnet. Pat, let's start with the upset loss, 30-29 to NC State. A really difficult loss. And when you look back at it, it's hard not to say that it wasn't self-inflicted with all the penalties the Panthers committed.
It was. I mean, you gave them 8 first downs by penalty. 6 offside penalties, a couple pass interference penalties. Certainly that obviously kept drives alive. So anytime you give an opponent 8 first downs on penalty, you're going to struggle to stop them because they're going to get drives going, they're going to get momentum, they're going to get confidence. You saw in their young quarterback, he had the ball, out of his hand on time. I thought NC State's offensive coordinator Tim Beck did a great job, certainly with their timing of their passing game, but also how they use cadence, which people forget. I mean, if there's a crowd there, it's hard for a road team to use cadence. But with no fans, they're using cadence just like they would at home. And then they also on third down got to a lot of tempo to keep Pitt out of its sub package. So I thought NC State had a good plan, but certainly you're disappointed in this defense and the things they did to hurt themselves. And then offensively, again, 503 yards of total offense, and you only score 29 points. And you stop on the 1 yard line, 4 attempts, kick a couple field goals, short field goals. This is one of those games we talked about last week that not scoring would catch up to you when your defense had a bad day, and unfortunately it did.
Pittsburgh did a really nice job of responding in the first half and into the second.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that offense because Kenny Pickett, a career-high 411 yards, also the team's leading rusher, just a tremendous game from him with 1 touchdown on the air and 2 via the ground.
Second and the full tip. Pickett going to take the shot. Addison wide open. Busted coverage for the Wolfpack in the secondary, and 75 yards later, Jordan Addison's in the end zone.
Yeah, he was a warrior. I mean, he got blasted a couple times in the pocket and made big-time throws. I mean, you're going to see on his draft highlight tape plays from that game. Big-time throws, down the field, in traffic, in critical situations to Taysir Mack over the middle when he got helicoptered in the air. It's a big-time play. I mean, number 8 is going to keep you in games and give you a chance to win. I tell you what, I was impressed with his moxie and grit. He took some shots, he made some big-time throws, and he's going to keep this team going. He's developing into a leader and someone that could put the team on his back, and he's only going to grow from that game despite how well he played.
You talk about growth, and you hope that maybe with Jordan Addison going out early in that game, the explosive touchdown, obviously, and we know what the freshman has done in his first 3+ games. We know the Taysir Mack combination that they had last year, but DJ Turner, a huge game, 8 receptions, 186 yards. Could that be a trio? And there are other guys, obviously, as well, but could that maybe be something moving forward that Kenny Pickett can add to his repertoire, another receiver like DJ Turner?
Yeah, I think they have a great group of wideouts that complement each other well. I mean, obviously Jared Wayne didn't play in the game. Shockey Jacques-Louis had a big catch. Taysir Mack had multiple big catches. Addison's been a star. But the thing I like about DJ Turner is, he's consistent from day one. I mean, this guy's been here 4 or 5 weeks. It wasn't like he came in the spring. He transferred in the beginning of training camp, middle of training camp, but he was familiar with Chris Beatty, the wide receiver coach. He understood the drills, and he assimilated into this offense right away to a position where he could move around. He can play with Jordan Addison, or he could fill Jordan Addison's spot. I think that speaks to his maturity, to his smarts, and I think his football savvy is there. Certainly he's got speed, and I think he's got some strength too after the catch. I mean, there were a couple where he had chances to take him to the house and carried some tacklers with him. So he's going to be a big part of this offense, and was a nice late acquisition.
Record 3-1 now as they get set for their first road game. So maybe a time to kind of evaluate for a moment. Where do the Panthers need to improve now moving forward?
You look at this defense, and I think one of the things that tends to happen is you get going with something, right? You're getting sacks, and you depend on it. I mean, there are going to be teams that scheme you. There are going to be teams that have a plan to counteract your pass rush. How do you adjust when you can't get home because the ball is getting out quick? But if you don't have that one thing, can you adjust and play good defense still? Against NC State, I think they got frustrated that they weren't getting to the quarterback, and all of a sudden it bled into the rest of their game. I like to see them play more consistent, regardless of what type of game it is. Make no mistake, they can rush the passer. That has not changed, but good teams will find a way to counteract that. And then also get out of your own way. I mean, get out of your own way with those penalties, man. Those pre-snap penalties were killer. They certainly don't help your confidence. Offensively, they haven't found a run game yet, and I think it's hurting them. I know it's hurting them. And when you got to drop back that many times and throw it, your quarterback isn't your leading rusher by design. You've got a problem in the run game, and what's really hurting them is negative plays. Yards lost rushing, multiple 3rd and 1s where they go backwards. Not even a position to go for it on 4th down. You can't have those and play winning football.
They're taking on a 2-1 Boston College team that is led by Phil Jurkovec. Obviously, we know him from his Pine Richland days, went to Notre Dame. It didn't work out for him. He winds up at Boston College and coming off a terrific game. He is a a dual threat quarterback. He's doing it mostly through the air, but he can run. He presents some challenges.
Yeah, he's got some Ben Roethlisberger to him. He's tough to bring down. Maybe a couple sacks against North Carolina. You thought he was going down, and he stayed up. Very familiar with their coaching staff. Jeff Hafley, their head coach, was a longtime coach here at Pitt. Frank Cignetti, their offensive coordinator, is from Indiana, PA. His dad was a longtime coach at IUP. He was my offensive coordinator at Pitt. So they're well coached up there. Phil Jurkovic went there to play for Jeff Hafley and for Frank Cignetti, and you can tell that he is bought in. He's playing the system well, and they're putting him in a position where he's going to have a chance to throw it. He threw it 52 times against North Carolina. What I was impressed with was his toughness. He took a lot of shots in that game, kept getting up, kept making plays for his team, and they got some talent on the perimeter. Flowers is a really good player. They got a nice tight end. This isn't a Boston College team as you would consider them in the past, where they're going to run A.J. Dillon at you 50 times. They're going to throw the football, and they've got a good group of receivers and tight ends that they can utilize in that attack.
Yeah, it feels really, really important. Pat, thanks very much. Look forward to listening to your call on the radio as the Panthers get set to take on Boston College. Up next, the spotlight shines on Kenny Pickett and a glimpse into his home life. That's when Pitt Beyond the Script resumes after this.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. And now here's the throw and a great catch by Mack. Brought it in right over the top of Peyton Wilson, the linebacker.
Pickett wants to throw it. Throws it long down the field. There's a man wide open. Look out. That is Jordan Addison behind the whole secondary. A 75-yard touchdown pass from Kenny Pickett to Jordan Addison.
Growing up, I lived on a dead-end street. Pretty much all my best friends were in my neighborhood. We would all bike to each other's houses, and I actually had an open field in front of my house, so we would play whatever season it was. That's what we were pretty much playing. As a kid, it was like a 15-minute bike ride to the beach. Did that about every day, Monday through Friday, and then the weekends pretty much just lived there until sundown. So I loved Ocean Township. Gonna be home for forever for me.
Around 8th grade, he decided to stop playing basketball and play baseball for fun, and then really focus on football and putting in the extra time to just continue to get better.
Sophomore year, I was 5'9", at the most, maybe with some socks or some shoes on. Junior year, grew a little bit to 5'11". Then I kind of took off growing-wise and hit the weight room hard and got up to 6'2", 190 pounds, and then all the other offers started rolling in. Pitt really recruited me the hardest. I had Coach Narduzzi, who was probably one of the main recruiters.
How has it been since you arrived on campus?
It's been great. It's really family atmosphere. They saw that on your recruiting visits, and a lot of schools saw that. So when you get here, you want to find out if it's really genuine or not, and it's definitely genuine when you get here.
Did not expect to play at all against Syracuse. When I was number 3 at the time, Max ended up going down with a shoulder injury. Number 2 popped up, and then his helmet came off, so I knew I was the next man up. So I just had my helmet, and I was ready to go. And I just ran out there and had one play.
And here comes Pickett into the ball game.
How about this? Kenny Pickett, Oakhurst, New Jersey. Pickett, middle of the field. Arujo Lopes is tackled. Ball game is over.
Got some time in the NC State game.
I love the fact that Pickett felt the pressure and picks up yards before going out of bounds. A little bit of elusiveness too there.
Which kind of set me up to play well at Virginia Tech the following week. Played Miami my freshman year to close out the season. They're a number 2 team in the country. That was when the turnover chain was jumping, so they had a lot of swag on defense, a lot of confidence going into the game. So to have that as your first start as a freshman is a pretty big task.
Pickett, give him the gun. There's a shovel pass. Olsen to the goal line, touchdown! And the Panthers extend their lead.
I was very excited for the opportunity. I was itching to play all season. But really, I was just taking it a play at a time. And when I was tucking and run, I just wanted to, give everything I had. I wasn't sliding that game. It was the last game of the season. I was a young kid. I wanted to make a name for myself, so I was going for it.
He gets to the goal line for the Panthers touchdown. And that was his first rushing touchdown. Give me Pickett!
The energy on the sidelines, the energy in the stadium. After the first quarter, everyone kind of had that feeling that, we could win the game, and there really wasn't a doubt in our minds, and then we just kind of went out and did it. Memory I'll have
forever. You players, you set history today. You have won Pitt's first Coastal Championship.
A lot of great memories here. I think winning the Coastal was really special. First time Pitt's done that in the ACC. Just celebrating in the locker room, having that championship feeling. There's really no better feeling than that. I'd say UCF is up there. Had a 2-minute drive to win the game. Ended up catching the Pitt special, which will be remembered here forever as well.
Down in 3, Davis. Matthews.
In the bowl game at the end of the year, another 2-minute drive win. Tayseer with the one-handed catch in the end zone was unbelievable. So a lot of great moments here. Just grateful that we get the opportunity to play as an offensive unit. We really feel like we can take the next step going into this final season. We're all excited to go.
I registered to vote because it is my right in the United States to have my voice be heard.
I registered to vote because it's a starting point for making a difference within my community and on a larger scale.
I registered to vote because I feel like I have an obligation due to all the pain and struggle that my ancestors went through just to be able to have the right to vote in this country.
I registered to vote after educating myself on the importance of voting and made sure to get involved immediately.
I registered to vote because every vote counts and it's important that my team is active in our local government.
My teammates and I are all registered to vote. The women before us have fought hard for this right, and we understand the importance of voting today.
I vote because it's important to me, it's important to my family, and as an American citizen, I feel I have the opportunity that many others around the world don't have.
Voting matters to me because so many people have fought for this right, and as a result, we should all vote to have an impact in our government and our everyday lives.
Voting matters to me because I'm very passionate about using my platform to encourage my friends and family to get involved and to spread awareness about the social justice issues in our country that are more prevalent now than ever.
Voting isn't just important in this day and age, but it is very necessary, and I believe that it is your obligation to get out to the voter booths and choose the right candidate for this upcoming election.
When we choose to vote, we are saying that this is the person we want to represent us. And as Americans, we have the privilege to vote, which gives us the opportunity to choose somebody who is going to represent everybody.
I believe that voting is important. I believe that leadership is important. I believe that my vote can help put somebody in charge who empowers the voices of many who have been silenced for way too long.
I registered to vote. Did you?
Did you?
Did you?
Did you?
Fans, here's where you can catch the Panthers on the field, pitch, or court this weekend. Thursday night, the women's soccer team takes center stage on the ACC network when they host Boston College at 6. Friday night, you can watch the Pitt volleyball team right here on AT&T Sportsnet at 7 when they host Boston College. Saturday, the football team faces their first road test of the year at Boston College once again. You can catch that at 4 on the ACC network. And on Sunday, women's soccer is back on the ACC network as they face the Navy Midshipmen at 1 p.m. Hey Panther fans, you showed us what it means to hail from home. Keep sending us your photos each week for a chance to be in next week's show.
Look at Amanda West. Will she be the hero once again tonight?
Cuts in on her right foot. The shot deflected and it's in! And Amanda West completes her hat trick.
It looks for West. The head is there, and it is a Panther goal!
I chose to come to Pitt because I wanted to play for a soccer program that was really a project. I mean, it's one thing to go into a program that's consistently a national championship contender and you're just like another face, another name into the program. So I thought that there's nothing more exciting than the opportunity to play for a program that really started from the bottom and is working its way up.
Amanda West searching for her second goal, and she slots it away expertly.
I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised to be named a captain. To me, it doesn't really matter whether or not I'm wearing the band on the field or not, because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna act the same way. I wanna be successful and I want this team to win a championship as bad as I wanna breathe. So I think that that really translates onto the field, and I hope that my teammates feel inspired, and I just try and lead by example in any way I can.
Now it's West. She'll swing one in. Can a foot find it? They will! The Panthers score!
The ACC is, in my opinion, the best conference for women's soccer that you can play in. So Being able to play in this conference against the best of the best only makes me a better player at the end of the day, and it's an unbelievable level of competition, and I love to be challenged, and I love how every week, no matter the opponent, it's still going to be a good game, a close game, and it's still going to be a fight to the end. I'm Amanda West, and I'm a forward on the Pitt women's soccer team, and you're watching Pitt Beyond the Script.
Amanda West wins it for Pittsburgh.
You guys know what to do. Go out and execute fundamentals, details, and get it done.
Welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script. Coach, Boston College on the road for the first time this season. How do travel arrangements change? Do you guys get to bring extra players on the road with you?
We're allowed to bring extra players on the road. You know, we'll bring the necessary players that we need. Sometimes too many is a bad thing too. We've really tried to cut down who we're taking on the road because of space on airplanes. We want to be able to spread our kids out as much as we can on the airplane. So there's a lot of details, you know, for the first time that we're going to deal with, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Coach Hafley, Coach Signetti, both former Pitt assistants, have Pittsburgh ties. You mentioned in your press conference, but is it a little bit more of a mental game this weekend for you guys?
You know, I don't think so. You know, it becomes maybe a little personal. They know Pittsburgh. They've been in the city. They played at Hines. You know, they've been here, but you know, it's a football game, and you know, the players play the game, and the coaches stand on the sideline and watch. You know, our work is done during the week. And then, you know, making sure the kids are prepared to go out there on Saturday and make plays.
Coach Hafley, a former defensive coordinator at Ohio State, you must be familiar with him though, because you don't have much game film to watch other than these past couple games that they've played, Chapel Hill UNC being one of them. Do you look back at some of his time there?
No question about it. You know, we'll go back and watch Ohio State tape. We'll pull a lot of things from what they do there, and then take the stuff from 2020 season, their 3 games so far, and try to formulate a great game plan.
They like to pass the ball. Redshirt sophomore Phil Dracovic is definitely the feature of this offense. How will you guys prepare for him defensively and with your Rocks team?
You know, it won't be easy to prepare for Phil because he's a different guy. He's tall, he's strong, he's physical, he can run, and he's got just a quick release and a cannon for an arm. So he's certainly won a lot of football games in the city of Pittsburgh. So I'm glad we're going up to Boston. He hasn't quite won as many games up there as he has in the city of Pittsburgh and in the surrounding area in the Whippeal. But an outstanding player. We're just going to have to emulate what he does, during practice and give our guys the best shot to go there and be victorious in Boston.
They have a good linebacker core, a good defense. You're familiar with Richardson, McDuffie, number 14 and number 55. If you're just used to watching film, that's usually how the players refer to them. So just strategies for that and what kind of defense you guys are going to be facing.
It's a different front this week that we're facing. We've been, for the last 3 weeks, really facing a 3-down front. We'll be facing a 4-down, which is very similar to our defense that our guys see every day in practice. So that'll be different. It'll be an advantage, I think, for us. We got to go block them, and we got to play great defense.
And finally, like we said, you're on the road, but you're one of 2 teams in the ACC that has gotten to play 4 games, mostly canceled because of COVID or postponed or rescheduled. How beneficial is that to have that game time experience compared to most teams?
Well, it's nice to get the games in, number one. I mean, it's, everybody said in the summer we want to play, so we had to earn the right to play. And, I'm just, proud of our kids, the way they've acted off the field. And, our kids have made the sacrifices to get to this point, and we hope we can make it to Game 5.
Speaks volumes, though, to UPMC, your kids here, the coaching staff. I mean, sacrifice all around.
No question about it. And again, we're fortunate to have the medical field behind us. UPMC, our doctors and trainers have done an incredible job.
Well, we look forward to Game 5 this Saturday, 4 o'clock at Boston College. Best of luck, Coach.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank you. And thank you for watching this edition of Pitt Beyond the Script.